and understand that, like, yo, it's liberty, like, it's minimal. Like, the government is not good, and they're not good at their jobs. They're not good in practice. They're not good at anything, and people just need to start eating it.
Oh, no, but at the end of the day, people are fine with it. People like Nancy Pelosi are making hundreds
Oh
of
yeah, they're
millions of
disgusting.
dollars. You know what I
Fucking
mean? Like crazy amounts of
Sith
money.
Lord.
Where you, Kyle, would go to jail if you talked to the CEO of one of these companies and they were like, Kyle, this is about to be released. Get ready. You're gonna go to jail for that shit, Kyle.
Yeah, and then I bought or sold stock based on it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. Like it's like this is crazy, by the way, the world we live in.
It's wild, man. It's wild, and I think that the pendulum swinging is coming. The pendulum coming back the other way is happening,
Yep.
and it's gonna be ugly, and people are gonna want to kill each other over it. And the pendulum is ultimately swinging from, hey, listen, words really don't matter. This whole notion that a sound that people put together out of it doesn't matter. What matters is how stupid and inefficient our government is and how radically corrupt they are. And that's the shit that really matters. And
Yeah.
these people, and so as this pendulum swings, where people are understanding, like, oh, right, it really doesn't matter if someone makes a word that I don't like. What really matters is when you have people. 2 years ago, truckers were heroes.
They were
A year,
yeah,
they were
yeah.
the
They were
essential workers. The same people who were like, they are literally heroes. They're saving all of our lives. Now, because the government tells you they're not heroes and that they're racists, it's like now everybody's like, they're a bunch of racists.
It's crazy, by the way, and it's like the nicest looking people just having a good time. Where I'm like, these are the racists, these are the bad people. Like, I don't get
Right.
it. It's a wild world we live in.
Ridiculous. It's wild,
Yeah,
man. And I think that's like the thing that people have to understand is if you're going to say that words that people say are so important, then you have to also understand, like, when you have the Canadian Prime Minister comparing anyone to Nazis,
yeah.
guess what, man? None of us live anywhere near any Nazis. There aren't not like,
They
thank
don't.
God, we're all very lucky we don't live in a world full of Nazis.
Yep, exactly, dude.
But we
It's.
don't.
I think
There's
it's
no
nuts,
such
by the way.
thing. That's like saying these people are a bunch of ghosts. No, dude.
Oh, dude, I
And
hate
that's
it.
why, like, if you're gonna talk all this shit, it's like, well, be careful because that pendulum's gonna swing, man, and that's what's happening. You saw Elon Omar came out and was like, "Hey, Canada, this is a little bit too insane."
Dude, no, that's what it's funny, like, and I think this should be one of the units that I hope to God unites the left and the right, where it's the extreme left and the extreme right. They can actually be like, you know what? We're actually on the sides of these truckers, by the way. These Canadian truckers that aren't in our country. They're doing the
Right,
right thing. And I know
right.
they're ruining capitalism here in America, and Detroit auto workers are all butthurt about it, but at the end of the day, they're standing up for what they believe in. Isn't that what the left literally always argues for?
Right. Exactly. And, it's like you said, this is something that really should kind of transcend left and right. It's something that should transcend borders.
Yep.
This is something that is bigger. I think that when you have truckers, people who deal with the worst elements of the war and they're lonely,
Oh, dude,
they deal
super
with
lonely.
failed bureaucracy all day long. When they say, "Hey, this is too intense, like this is too far," we need to listen to those people.
Mhm.
It's like 90% of the truckers are vaccinated.
Yep, they are.
This is
No, no, and you know, most of the ones that are actually on the front lines protesting this are vaccinated, by the way. Yeah.
because it's not about vaccines.
It
And
it
you know who would agree with you? Justin Trudeau. He knows it's not about vaccines.
dude, it's crazy, by the way, that
It's
it's
about setting precedent. It's
yeah,
about saying, like, "Look, remember when we told you to get a vaccine? Now we're telling you to get this. Now we're telling you need that to move around freely." And they
yep.
just wanna set that precedent, and that we can't do that. Can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy, by the way, it's nuts. And this leads
Nuts,
me
man.
probably into a little bit further of a point here to do with vaccines. Did you see that what got released today, the FDA man on a date with a girl, and the girl was a secret reporter? And he's like just spilling
No,
the beans about everything.
not again.
Yep.
Not a Tinder date.
I don't even know what it was. It was
Hey,
this.
was it Veritas? Was it Project
Yeah,
Veritas?
Veritas. Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking whenever those dudes
Yeah.
do that, it's like that is so amazing how these retards fall for this shit.
Thank you.
Pussy will do it.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, dude. Because I'm just like, dude, that's the only thing that can work on a man is pussy. Like a
It's
man,
pussy, bro. At the
men
end
are
of the
so
day,
dumb, dude. Where there's like, dude,
men
this
will
girl's
give up
hot.
nuclear.
Yeah, dude. Like just because she's hot, and it's like, dude, I might have a chance now. Oh yeah, we're just scamming people. Yep, we're just giving money from everyone.
Dude,
He's talking about
pussy
money
works
they're
every
collecting.
time,
Yeah,
bro.
it's just crazy talking about money collected from pharmaceutical companies so they can speedline the vaccines and getting approved. Like, oh, dude, this looks horrible for you guys.
Dude, all in the name of getting some pussy,
Yeah,
bro.
really, it is.
Getting to stick your face in a new ass crack.
Nope.
That's why.
You know what's awesome? He gave up the secrets without even getting to do that. He just gave up the secrets. Like,
Really, he didn't even get his dick sucked.
no, he had nothing. Nothing came with it. Yeah,
Oh, what
dude,
a
this was on the
loser.
first dinner. He's just like, "Yep, guess what? I got all this cool stuff to tell you, girl."
I love it, dude. Remember when the CNN guy got busted for doing that? He's like, "Hey, next month we're bringing out climate change. That's what we're really gonna hit him with." And he was like,
Yeah.
"It's all we wanted." The CNN guys like, "We wanted Trump, but like only for ratings and da da da."
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. It was a Tinder date.
Yeah, dude, because that stuff works, dude. Guys are just trying to get pussy everywhere in the world.
Trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
their
yeah.
dick wet,
That's
dude.
all it
It's
is,
ruined.
dude.
Yeah,
Empires have fallen because of that shit.
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
100%.
I just thought it was
100%.
funny, by the way. I sent it to Camilla and everything because I'm like, you gotta see. This is
Oh.
awesome, by the way. Where I'm like, dude, I'm thankful I don't have a position of power like that. And I'm a single guy because I could totally see myself being that guy trying to impress some stupid girl on a
Dude, I'll do
date.
it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I
you
say-
know.
I've told women I love them before I.
Dude, no, I think about that where I'm just like, oh my god, like I would be
Yeah.
that idiot
yeah.
who Project Veritas is like, here we are with the director
Here we
of
are.
Leno, and it's like, oh shit, I'm that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think
His
about
big
that.
tits, and
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah, the nuclear codes are.
Yeah, that's what, and you know what's funny? She's not even like a 10. She's a good looking middle aged woman, but
They
like,
never are.
yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah, but that's the funny part. It doesn't. They don't need to be. They just need to be okay looking enough to be.
Okay,
Yeah. And guys are like,
Yeah,
I'm sold.
I gotta get in there. Every time,
Yeah.
dude. Every time it gets them. I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's perfect because it's so exactly what it should be. That's always the best thing is when like humans are ultimately human beings.
Yep,
We
exactly.
just want to fuck and eat,
That's really what it is.
dude. And anytime that pulls, it never fails,
Nope.
ever.
And you got to
Yeah.
give it up to the Veritas boys for another W.
That's the most genius bit.
Dude, and you know what's funny? It doesn't not just work one time. It keeps
It
working.
works every time,
Dude, works like-
every time.
Wait a minute, dude. If I'm on a first date with a girl, I'll be like, dude, I'm keeping my mouth shut. Like, oh, I love stuff.
Batting 1,000.
Yeah,
It
dude.
never doesn't hit.
It's crazy, by the way, where I'm like, how does this keep working? I just don't get it.
Bad pussy, bro.
Now-
You know what I mean? Just the smell of new.
All right,
driving dude.
I'm the director of the FDA. I'm coming out tomorrow to all my people. Anybody on a date for the first date with a woman, you don't say anything about your job or you're going to get fired. Like, that's it. In the private sector, they would fire you for that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I can't
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that this guy isn't fired because I'm like,
Imagine if like Goldman Sachs.
oh,
There was a guy at Goldman Sachs who's like out there being like, dude, we charge interest rates a lot higher to black people than we do to white people. And he's saying it's like get some pussy.
yeah, he's going to get fired, dude.
Fired
Dude,
tomorrow.
yeah, dude, anything like that. Or even like, oh, you know what? We're investing in these stocks. They're bad investments. You should invest in these. You're going to get fired for that, just to let you know. Any of those type of things. The private sector is so different than government jobs where I'm like, they can't fire the person because of some nonsense that protects them, but they should fire him.
If anything, the corporate world tends to play it like a lot more conservative. They'll fire you if you say words that aren't right. They'll fire you, you know.
Naughty words, bad words.
And
Yeah.
you can be Chris fucking Cuomo.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you could be Chris Cuomo. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took heaven and earth to get his brother out. But they all it takes is some paperwork, and Chris Cuomo's fired.
So next question for you here, Kyle.
Lay
This
it on
is
me,
this
buddy.
is FDA obviously messing up here, and I think the
Hey, put us
FDA.
on a side by. Put us
What?
on this on
Oh, side by side, duh.
yeah.
So obviously, I think the
What's up, Jeff?
FDA has a lot to do with a lot of these stupid problems dealing with here. And this isn't just starting with COVID. The FDA has been nothing but problems back to the opioid crisis, to so many crises dealt by the FDA. Do you think the FDA is a positive? Do you think the FDA is a negative? Should we have an FDA?
That's an interesting question. That's a good, question.
Hmm.
There is something to be said for like I don't care what three letters you put in front of these organizations.
They're
They're
all
just human
garbage.
beings,
Yeah.
right? The FDA, the TSA,
Yeah.
the NSA, the FBI, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Should we have some kind of a hey, make sure you're not poisoning all the food
Yeah.
group of people? Probably,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Or like, hey, make sure that baby bottles aren't filled with lead. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just
Okay, but to go on your point here, would you also extend that protection to harming American citizens with harmful
or
drugs?
lack of accountability,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that more the issue? Is like 25, 30 years ago, the FDA said cigarettes were completely safe.
Well, and thank you for saying that. That's what my point is. So what good is the
50
FDA?
years ago,
But
whatever it was.
whatever year it wasn't 1902.
Asbestos.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
many how
yeah,
many how many drugs get recalled? It's like an incredible amount. I
yeah.
don't know off the top of my head, but it's like an incredible amount. And there's no accountability. I think that's when you start to lose trust and faith with people. Is people are willing to put up with you if you go, "Hey, we messed up. We're so sorry. We literally, but we don't have any accountability. People just make mistakes, people die, and we keep going."
So do you think we should keep an FDA? So if you look at something like the opioid crisis, look how many tens of millions of Americans were addicted
Right.
to opioids,
Terrible.
ruined their lives, to ruin their
Really
families'
nice, and yet,
lives.
like, weed is still
Yeah, and that's so let's keep going here. So with opioids, and that right there was cleared by the FDA. The FDA said this is a good drug. It's
oh, yeah.
non-addictive. Non-addictive. They cleared that shit. Non-addictive
Yeah.
to people. And you know what's funny? Doctors all over the world are like, a narcotic that's non-addictive? How the hell did they do that? It's because it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a narcotic that's non-addictive. That's
Yeah,
one of the
it's kinda
main things that's,
fun.
yeah, you know what I mean? It goes hand in hand. So
Right. It's a narcotic.
what benefit?
It can make you feel good if you take a lot.
So I understand, yeah, exactly. I understand the benefits that the FDA does have. There be an FDA? Shouldn't there just be a regulation of countries around the world that make drugs that agree that this is the processes we agree with?
Yeah, and you would call it the FDA, right? It's more like, is the FDA doing the correct job?
Yeah.
Is the fact that the FDA gets most of its funding from Pfizer a good idea? Probably not,
But
right? Wouldn't you say that?
well, so let's look at this here. The average FDA funding, it looks at about $10 per American citizen
Per year,
per year.
annually.
Yep.
And then but that's only about 50% of their funding, isn't it?
Yep.
The other 50% comes from is that what
Pharmaceuticals, drug companies. So let's say, for
that
instance,
was the
Kyle.
idea that's like the idea of all those organizations, their utility. The FDA, the EPA, everybody pitches in a couple bucks a year, and we all make sure that there's no poison in our food,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Or we make sure that drugs are being handled, and it's a
Made the right
utility.
way. It's not made in a guy's bathtub, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly. And it's not like have a bunch of addictive stuff. It's not coke with fentanyl, all this shit, right? But it's not like that anymore. Now that's only about 50% of its funding, and the other 50% comes from lobbyists, all that shit.
Yeah.
From corporations, you know what I mean? From big money, big pharmaceutical people. I think that's a problem, right?
Yeah. So, question: are they a good or are they a bad? What do you think?
Right. It's what you would call a necessary evil, I think. Right? Wouldn't you say that? It's like you got to have some form of if we're going to have 350 million people eating food every day, we should probably make sure that that food isn't contaminated with all sorts of bad stuff, right? But also because it's complicated. Should we have something? I guess. Are we doing it correctly now? Absolutely.
No, okay, that's what I agree with. We're not doing it correctly now. I think we need something. I don't think the FDA is what we need, and I don't think the FDA has helped us.
No.
FDA has gotten millions of Americans addicted to
Well,
opioids.
remember when trans fats were like,
Oh,
they
dude,
were good.
yeah. And
Oh,
then
you can. And
yeah.
that's like not. Yeah.
It's saturated fat, trans fat. That's gonna kill you in 2 years. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it became a thing all of a
Eggs,
sudden.
eggs are either good or bad every other day.
And it's
according to
so
the-
frustrating, dude. Where it's like, are these things killing me? Or are they good for me?
right.
Yeah. It's a super big a nuisance in my opinion.
I just think too, we put a little bit too much what's the word, like responsibility on the government to take care of us rather than like, hey man, you should probably know what you're putting into your body, or hey man, you should probably eat not processed food
Yeah, exactly.
every meal. Like
Yeah.
listen, I'm a fat dude. I'm not here to say that,
Don't worry, and I'm lazy, so mixed
Right.
together,
We love-
it's gonna be
love
processed
fucking-
food. Yeah,
right. I love,
yeah,
Cheez Its or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
it is. Yeah,
With all that to be said, it's like I don't eat it thinking like, well, at least the FDA.
well, this is safe, but it says the FDA. Yeah, I hope you don't, because
Oh,
if you
dude,
do,
they're
you're an idiot.
donut holes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, no, this is probably gonna kill me. I'm pretty sure.
Big fat round mound of sugar.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like cigarettes. Like whenever you smoke a cigarette, I'm not doing it because I care about. I'm just trying to die quicker, man.
Yeah, that's why I hope that you know what I mean. I don't think anyone's like, dude, can't wait till I hit the grave. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Just
No.
and I think that there is something like people have this notion that people want to live forever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's always the case. Some people want to live life crazy. They want to eat ice cream 6 meals a day, and they want to weigh 350, and they want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, dude,
You can't protect them from that.
no, and I say it all the time. I don't want to live forever, dude.
No.
I don't. Like, at the end of the day, I think there'll be some day that I'm gonna look forward to death. That I'll be like, all right, I'm happy with life. I've done.
Yeah.
You know what I
Dude,
mean? Like,
my grandmother lived to be 93, right?
yeah,
The last year and half of her life, I wouldn't want to be alive
yeah.
if I was in her position.
Because old people
Dude,
that last
in a
year,
bed,
yeah, it's like, what benefit is this, dude? Like,
their
why?
body just won't die.
Yeah. Like, everything else
Yeah.
is dying, but I'm staying alive in this fucking
Right.
bed nonstop. Like, yeah, I think that's
Dude.
crazy.
I would tell a doctor, buddy, knock me up with the craziest shit you got. I'll see everybody on the other side.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like, dude, give me a bunch of Oxycontin and just OD me. I'm going to bed. Like,
Beat the shit out of me.
yeah,
man.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, something
No.
that I think that's crazy, by the way, that I don't know. I think getting old, like, obviously I don't want to get old. Like, I don't like depending on people, so I don't want to get
Right.
old and then have that be my life, because that's what I noticed.
If I had to have someone like shower me, bathe every day, it's a family member. Like let's say it's your kids one day. Like, do you really want your kids like wiping your ass? I would just say, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's time.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Well, what, you want an immigrant from the Philippines wiping your ass every day?
Right. Or whatever.
Yeah. Pick what, yeah, whatever it is. I don't want it done.
I don't want to do that. I don't
Yeah.
want to have someone, you know what I mean? Especially if it's like, yep, it's going to be like this until you're dead.
Yep.
If you're like handicapped or you're like recuperating from something, it's one thing, right? Like you're married.
Yeah.
You got hit by a bus and you didn't die, but you're like, it's going to take you 6 weeks of rehab, of
Yeah.
physical therapy to get back, right? And Camilla has to lift you on and off the toilet. You're like, this sucks, but I got to get through it right now.
Well,
But
it's
if they were,
6
like,
weeks, but yeah,
fucking day.
that's a way different scenario when
Way
it's like every day you're
different.
doing this.
Yeah, that's like the one you go, I'm good, dude. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah.
But I
Some-
think that's like one misconception is like, should we have an FDA? Shouldn't we? I mean, I guess it's a good idea, blah, blah, blah. But like, we also have to remember that some people don't care and they don't, you're never going to make them care. They're going to eat Carl's Jr. 3 times a day,
They're gonna
even
do
though
what they want.
do what they want, man. And putting calories on, the side of the building isn't helping.
No, I think it's crazy. By the way, now they do that.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Menus are humongous at every place you go to.
I just had a poke bowl for lunch and they have that, and you're like, why do I need to? I don't even know what these mean.
Yeah. Why does that matter though? It's white rice, some fish, and some vegetables.
840 calories. Like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm gonna eat it.
Cool.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
doesn't it could be. You could tell me it's 30,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna fucking eat the thing.
Cool. 30,000 pounds of calories. Awesome. That's a lot of calories.
Calories. I
Yeah.
couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Interesting
who
question.
made that
It's like,
happen.
it's like all that stuff. It's like I think we're at a point we don't need this TSA. We talk about this,
Yeah.
but we don't need like the TSA stuff. Like we don't
I
need to take our shoes off to get onto a plane.
no.
And we still take our shoes off, get onto a plane because they never take back regulation.
Yeah,
Have
they
you
don't.
ever noticed
Yeah,
that?
no, of course not. And you know who fucked it up for us? The shoe bomber. The shoe bomber wore a bomb in shoes, and then ever since then, we've all had to take off our shoes.
Yeah, and laptop out of your backpack.
Dude, it's so annoying, by the way, dude.
So dumb.
Anything bigger than a tablet has to be taken out. Like, ugh.
No liquids over 3 ounces. And it's like, a fat lady.
Yeah. Yeah, some big woman that you're like, I don't feel safe because of you.
Yeah, you in no way are making my life any safer.
No.
And guess what? If I had her job, I would be just as useless.
Yeah, that's what.
I would be just as unsafe as she is.
Yeah, because they're not people who I find to be safety people. Like,
No, it's a job.
yeah.
Yeah, but all that stuff, you know what I mean? Take that and you take that same mindset, you put it to the FDA, put it to the SEC, put it to the, CIA, whatever it is. It's just a bunch of bureaucrats tried to, prove that they need a paycheck.
CIA, that's a sham of an operation.
Did you, who was it I was listening to? It talked about how the CIA originally was supposed to be like a newspaper for the president. That the Central Intelligence Agency ultimately it didn't do anything. It didn't act. All it did was report what's happening to the president.
I wish I knew that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it started under, I don't remember what. Roosevelt, one of the Roosevelts, maybe. I don't know. But it was ultimately.
Wasn't it Hoover?
Hoover, maybe.
Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover. He was the first FBI director.
Yeah, and he was like, it's like it was supposed to be like, Mr. President, this is what's going on. Now they just operate in their own
little bubble, dude. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
And it's so weird too. Is people who, I don't know, they like act in a certain way, and you're like, they want all this stuff. They want people to be labeled terrorists, and they want people to be told what to do. And then you go, but what happens in 2024 when Trump wins again or DeSantis wins? Do you want them having that power to label people any certain kind of a way because they don't like them, right? Like,
well, I think they got a taste of their own medicine with that, when they changed the Senate rules, and everyone's like, "This is awesome. We can pass anything now with 50 votes."
with the vice president.
Yeah, it was great when Obama was president, and then Trump became president, and then he's walking in judges, like literally walking him in.
Walking you in.
Yeah, because he had the votes. It walked him in, no debate, nothing, just walking in judges. Over 248 judges, I believe, or something, which is the most. Yeah, the most judges for a one-term president in history. Where it's like, oh my goodness, dude. Like, and that's why I said, dude, you guys changing the rules, thinking it's gonna benefit you, it's always gonna hurt you in the long run. Always. This is never.
Do you know why Trump did all those judges appointees at the end? Because it was the only thing he could do.
Yeah.
It was the last thing he could do without any obstruction.
Yep.
He just said, I want every judge I can get my hands on.
No. And just put them through. And it's crazy what he did. And I blame the Democrats for that. If they're upset, it's their fault.
Yeah. But they can't hear it. They don't want to hear it. It's weird. It's like, you guys don't understand. You can't keep enforcing, can't keep regulating our way into this utopia and then don't like it when someone else takes it. Just think about it like an adult. Would you want Ron DeSantis to have the ability to call you a terrorist?
Yeah, no, exactly. Would you want that? Is that going to be the way you want to play the cards?
Would you want that? Well, no.
Yeah.
Okay, then you don't want Joe Biden to label anybody else. It's like, see what I mean? It's just very adulty, and people don't want to seem to eat that.